Fists, no time for prayers. They marched on north. The elf blood froze. The peppermint fields now lined with woes. Roll the dice and ride the wave. Quest and dragons, the news we crave. Under neon lights we take a stand. Knights and wizards across the land.
Wake up, it's Friday. Good morning, how are you? This is the oggm, joined by Steve the Cat, broadcasting live from Site B, located in the tabletop role-playing game capital of the world that is Fresno, Nevada, a place that does not in fact exist. It is Black Friday. Yesterday we took a look at all the tabletop role-playing game Black Friday discounts. They were not very impressive. So today we're going to take a look at all the Black Friday crowdfunding projects that are coming to an end on the Kickstarter thingy. Hopefully you are all well and safe and got home and have refrigerators filled with leftovers and not too hungover. I had like a glass and a half of wine, and that was like way too much for. I got to remember, don't drink when you're on migraine medicine. So my dinner was okay. Hopefully everybody else had a good Thanksgiving. There was no communication, so everybody brought a vegetable dish because nobody told anybody else, oh, I'm bringing a vegetable dish. So we had turkey and like 8 different vegetables. But they were all good. So hopefully you had a good time. Anyways, enough about me. How are you? Thank you for joining me this Friday morning, Death Angel Shadow and Cooperative Waffles. Let's see what let's see what type of click starters are coming to an end. I can speak. No, I can't. Who am I fooling? All right. Yeah, we got Dark Space. I had a chance to play test this with the creators. This is Space Rules for Shadowdark. A lot of good ideas in here. I went through it and I was like, oh, I'm stealing that. Oh, that's a cool idea. Played this for about 3 hours with the builders. It is a fun system. Shadowdark does work in space. I had a great time playing my character who never actually left the spaceship. You can find a live play of that featuring me over at Dungeons and Dyslexia's website. So that was fun. This one's definitely on my list. This is a crowdfunder. It's $99. It's for 4 books plus the PDF version, GM screen, character cards, and more. Shadowdark for space. $99 seems a lot. So I guess you're getting a lot of space bells and whistles. But if you want to just get the digital one, which it's only $20, which is definitely worth it. From Studio Midhall, we have Beast, the role-playing game for D&D 5e, 2024 5e, to be specific. This is $175 for the PDF and print versions of the 3 books, slipcase, GM screen, dice, tokens, a pin, hey, finally somebody listening to me and throwing in some tangibles, and more. Based on Beast, the board game. Anybody know what that is? I'm assuming it's a board game about beasts. It takes beast fighting and power harvesting in its own direction. Beast, the role-playing game, comes in 300 pages, Hunter's Guide, 200 pages, Chronicles Guides, and 200-page Beastery. You'll get 30 new classes, 40 new spells, 35 feats, rules for grudges, corruption, and warlock packs, some adventures, 100 monsters, in addition to the other 200 monsters, 7 bosses. Other than that, what is this? Okay, yeah, and let's look what it says on the page. See, become a hunter, okay? Brave the broken world, slay titanic beasts. Okay, so it's Monster Hunter, the role-playing game. Become a beast hunter. Explore a world full of mystery and peril. Defend your civilization from monstrous creatures that hunt the unstable wilderness. Blah, blah. How is this different than normal? Oh, Ed Greenwood has something to do with it. Okay, so how is this different than every other Monster Hunter D&D defend your village from outside? I see nothing that makes this stand out. And I'm sorry, I don't care who wrote it. No role-playing game is worth $175, guys. Sorry. Yeah. Vault 5e Uncharted Dungeons from Crucible 7. $55 shipping and handling for the PDF and print version of the book. Do you want to change your gaming table's approach to dungeon delves? Crucible 7 is offering this toolkit to help make dungeons more engaging and cooperative. Designed for 5e, this book lets you rebuild dungeons to make them group experiences into something more bespoke. Oh no, they use bespoke in the sentence. It must be awesome. If you see what you can do, want to see what you can do with the dungeon, check out the Kickstarter page. So it's a guide to dungeon building because there's not several hundreds of those already. You guys need to give me a little bit more information, on these things, so I don't have to go to your webpage and try and make sense of your product. Okay, it's just these blurbs. You need to be able to sell your audience in like 10 seconds. And I gotta say, for the 9 years we've been doing this, they're getting lazier. I guess everybody's just assuming now that, if I make something, it'll make $1 million Kickstarter because that person got $1 million Kickstarter. And I don't really have to. Yeah, no, this doesn't tell me anything about your guide to dungeon building, where there already are several hundred guides to dungeon building. So now I have to go to your Kickstarter page to try and tell my audience exactly what this is. And okay, designing, modifying, gives you everything you need to supercharge your dungeon crawl adventures, packed with inspirations, got some art. It's got a picture of a halfling. Yeah, okay. So it's just Dungeoneer Survival Guide. Wish you all the luck in the world, Crucible 7, but again, this product already exists. At least you're the cheapest product I've seen this more. Look. For Mork Borg, we have Hellspawn, Obey, Burn, Repeat, the Infernal RPG, breaking into dying worlds. This is $77 for a PDF and print version of the hardcover, 2 zines. We love the zines, pamphlets, and character pads. Hell comes to Mork Borg. It already is. Taking the concept of Mork Borg to a darker place. I don't think you can get darker than Mork Borg. The game imagines hell as a dimension of accounting in which addition is accomplished by subtraction. Comparable with all types of Mork Borg games and setting, third-party standalone offers 100 pages of rules to take you to the worst place. If you like the concept, check out. Well, we know how much I hate this artwork style. I'm not sure how you get darker than Mork Borg, where literally part of the process of world creation is to see how long before the world is destroyed, and it could be as quickly as 2 days. Welcome to Mayfi, the role-playing world where you get to play for a day, and then the world's destroyed. Your entire life is a day. Does Mork Borg need a hell expansion? I mean, we know Cyborg has done very well. We know that Pirate Borg has done exceptionally well. In fact, Pirate Borg and Cyborg have done better than Mork Borg did. My favorite, of course, Bork Borg, the one where you play dogs. And yeah, I love the zine aspect of Mork Borg. I love the art, but I also hate the art. I mean, growing up in the 80s, growing up in the punk rock 80s, and zines were the thing, and some of the earliest independent role-playing game productions were zines, and this death rock punk metal artwork that they use is occasionally nice, though now I think it's getting a little bit overdone because everybody's using it, and when everybody's special, no one is. But you can't print this out. Why are these books so expensive? Because printing them out, Bork Borg is the one about dogs. Yeah. There's one called Bork Borg where you get to play dogs. That one sounds awesome. So yeah, sorry. No, I don't see how you can make Morkberg more grim and dark than it already is. But good luck. Oh, look, here we go again. Here's Yoki Beastry for 5e. This is book 2 of 2 from A4 Play. This is $60 for the PDF and the book, plus VTT assets. Inspired by Japanese folklore, 120 pages of creatures to encounter as well as their folklore and how to implement them with 50 illustrated monsters, plot hooks, VTT tokens. Remember, if you're going to install the VTT tokens, please check them for viruses and malware and phishing things and all those other things that are just, awful. So you might had some fun encounters to your 5e game with Yoki and more of this art style. Yoki? I apologize. I'm probably saying them. So do I, Cooperative Waffle. When in doubt, make a monster book. Hopefully it's researched correctly and does the subject matter the honor and justice it deserves. And hopefully they can avoid all the slings of arrows of people saying, how dare you culturally appropriate this from Asia. $60 seems a little pricey, but, okay. From RPG Ramblings, we have Gary's Appendix, issue number 9. This is $19. You win for being under $20. PDF and print versions of the zine. This is a zine that features various topics of role-playing game stuff. So just, continuing the wonderful transition of dragon, dungeon, white dwarf, game mechanic, just a zine filled with various thingies for various D20 games that you can choose to use or ignore. We love zines like this. Always nice to see the tradition of here's some ideas, use what you like. So yeah, and it's under $20, so you win. Here we have from Loke Battle Mats. We have Dungeon Reignited, a set of 2 books of battle mats for RPGs. Yes. $125? No. But there are dry erase maps. It's a book, 7 books, $125 for 7 books of maps. Okay, that feels like it's worth it. Let's see. I mean, I'm going to do the math real quick. On average, each one of these map packs cost around $15 to $20. You got like 2 to 4 maps. So 15 for 7 books, each book with, doesn't say how many in each book. Okay, actually that feels like it's worth it. I assume you can also get them individually, but I will check to be sure. Okay, can we get them individually? So you can get them all for $125. You can get the digital, which for $15, but it's pointless because I still have to print out the maps. You can get the Roll20 version for $25. So that's all the maps made for VTTs. Check for viruses. You can get, for $45, you can get 2 of the books. For $50, you can get 2 of the books and the VTT stuff. So the best deal looks like if it's the 45 to get 2, which still, $20 a pop. Doesn't sound bad. It's dry erase, which if anybody's ever used the dry erase maps, the ink tends to bleed, so they're really only good for like 1 or 2 times. I've never had a reason to draw on these kind of maps though. When we use them, they were already complete. What did I need to add? I guess, if there was like a fire or something or whatever, but no, I don't think we ever drew on these. It was the blank maps you would draw on. These were usually pretty decent. I always found a way to use them. Love these. And presented in a spiral ring binder. That's clever. I'll give him plus points for clever. Okay, this other than the 125, but for $45, for $30, I get 2 books. And if I get to pick the 2 that I like, this might be my recommendation for the. And finally, we have from EN Publishing, Alpha Star Magazine, the D20 sci-fi book of D20 sci-fi stuff. $11.40 for this, if the first issue. Unleash Sci-Fi magazine, building on the Void Runners Codex. This is a quarterly magazine that offers more D20 spacey stuff for Spelljammer, for Paizo space game, for all the other D20 high fantasy space games that are more akin to Spelljammer and Starfinder and Void Runners Codex. And yeah, Harry smear the drawn dungeons with dry erase. I'm trying to remember if we ever drew on those maps back when we were lucky enough to have them, but I don't think we did. You know, usually you could just, I suppose if you needed to show a spell effect or something. Yeah, easy to traveling. That might be my winner for this week. With this, my second winner. $12 for D20 spacey stuff. Yeah. All right, so this is number 2. This one's not bad. I definitely give it my nod for this week. This is also definitely, I think, for $20. Always nice to support a zine. No. Double, triple, quadruple, no. Again, I already have this. No. No. And yes. All right, not bad. There's a couple I recommend this week. Or you could just ignore everything I just spent the last 17 minutes talking about and just run, skip, jump, swim, and crawl your way to Drive-Thru RPG and pick up my product, because all my stuff is marked down to pay what you want. So Superheroes for Shadowdark, pay what you want. Weird West for Shadowdark, pay what you want. My Hex Crawl rules, post-apocalypse Hex Crawl rules, which I just recently wrote for Shadowdark, marked down to pay what you want. And my book of cryptids for Shadowdark, marked down to pay what you want, because I forgot I wrote that this year. I was like, oh yeah, I wrote a book about cryptids too and completely forgot about it. That was the one that I tried to make POD, and for some reason Drive-Thru listed it as $7,777 when I entered 20. So I went back and tried to change it, and it wouldn't let me change it. Every time I reset, it would reset it back to $7,777. Even when I logged off, turned my computer off, restarted my computer, went back to Drive-Thru using my different using Chrome, still would not let me change it from $777 to $20. Called customer service, spoke to the customer service guy. He went on to my site from his end, could not change it to $20. And he was like, oh, I've never seen this happen before. And I was like, welcome to my life. This happens to me on a daily basis. And nobody believed me when I told them the story until a couple days ago, where it happened to somebody else. And they texted me and said, dude, it happened to me too. So yeah, anyways, yeah, all that to just tell you is that my stuff is marked down to pay what you want. So for the holidays, consider supporting the OGGM. And if not, hopefully you are well and healthy and happy and someplace safe and warm and recovering from the food comas of yesterday and ready to brave the internet wonders of Black Friday, Cyber Saturday, Small Business Sunday, and while we still have crap left, we might as well mark it down Monday. Till next time, see ya.
The snowmen rose with icy glares, frosty fists, no time for prayers. They marched on north, the elf blood froze, the peppermint fields now lined with woes.
Jack-o'-lantern lit the spark.
A pumpkin grin, a scheme so dark.
Give us the lies of endless snow.
If Christmas ends, you'll